Hey everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video lesson, I'm going to be creating part 2 of an artist trading card. The first one was an industrial look using stuff found at the big box hardware store. And this one here will be a similar composition. I'm changing up the actual composition layer a little bit, but I'm going to be using embellishments actually found at the art store. So I've got my background here. This is the other half of the half of the background that I have. And I'm going to be painting it the same color, and I've got my torn pieces here, obviously different shape. So the dry fit combination I'm working with will be like this. And I found, so I've got this piece and all this stuff I got at Michael's. And so my quote will be this. So I've got my texture as the paper, and I've got, oh come on, my quote there. And then I've got these gears and cogs and stuff. So that's going to be like that. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. And so I'm going to basically go in and tint. So I'm going to be tinting it with transparent red iron oxide, transparent yellow iron oxide, and phthalo green yellow, the Decor Art Media fluid acrylics. And I'm going to be collaging everything together between the matte medium and the modeling paste in the same line. And I'm going to be adding some metal beads that I have here. And I'm going to be finishing the edges with metallic luster. So I'm going to be doing what? I want to create that neutral greeny color. Neutral greeny color, that's a good way of wording it. But this time, I think what I want to do is I want to remove a little bit. I'm going to sneeze. I'm just basically staining it. That creates a nice, almost like a patina look. Got rid of a lot of the blue and a lot of the shine. And rinse that out. I'm going to hit this with the heat gun for a second. Now you can tint your paper first. For me, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry and it's going to wrinkle. I'm going to collage it first, then I'm going to paint it. So matte medium for the whole piece, because the matte medium also creates a barrier layer for protection. Now, here's a tip. If you're going to be using dictionary paper for collage material, make sure you read the words that are on here first before gluing it onto a piece, especially if you're going to give it away. I did one a little while ago, and the girl found it funny. She wasn't offended, but what the words. We can't say it on camera. Put that there. And there we go. So my goal is to beat my record for the last one. I did a lot of talking in the last one. I just want to talk to you guys. It's a one-way conversation in here. Okay. And I'm going to go in with a bit of transparent red iron oxide. You can use whatever you want. A lot of the projects I'm going to be doing are, well, I'm showing with some stuff from the hardware store and that. Stuff's getting expensive out there. And although I'm not knocking any of the manufacturers, they're out there to make, you know, their business. My goal is to have people creating art with what they have and what they can find. My biggest thing that makes me really sad is when somebody says, I can't do this because I don't have whatever. A lot of times you can find an alternative, and that just takes a little bit of creativity. Just finding that alternative. Just shading, adding a little bit of a shadow right underneath the paper. I'll take my fingers and just blend that out a little bit. Okay. Pop that in there. Work fast. Where we go? 5 minutes and 29 seconds. I might be able to do this. I'm getting a headache though. Oh. Hit that with the heat gun again. And I'm going to put the clear modeling paste on here just like before. So the one that I showed before were the pieces that I picked up at the hardware store. That little artist trading card I think cost me a whole 40 cents to make. Factor in the time, it's a lot more than that, but 40 cents to make, where this one here having to buy, well, I'm not having to buy the stuff, I bought the stuff at Michael's, it's a lot more. I like this, I like getting stuff where it's more the industrial stuff from the hardware store. Industrial stuff from Lee Valley. Oh. Wowie. Okay, so let me think how I was going to do this. I'm going to put that there, offset it a little bit. And then that was there. These were, I believe, these were underneath. So let me just put that there. That there. Gonna move that around a little bit. We're 6 minutes, 56 seconds. Like that. It's been a while since I've done any mixed media because I've been teaching the class, the portrait class I was teaching, which is fine art, and I use the mixed media stuff to keep me sane, and it takes a bit to getting back into it. So I would love to hear from you guys. You know, when you've been away from a certain type of art for a while, what do you do to get back into it? Like the groove. And as with the other one, I let that dry overnight. Perfect. Beauty. Okay, that's it. Let it dry now. So I'm going to set this aside. Oh, bad. The beads. The beads. That's, what is it? Tattoo on Fantasy Island. The beads. The plane. Also, of course, there's a little surprise at the end of this video. You know there's going to be, right? Is a make a mess. If stuff goes wrong, if you're watching this within, I don't know, a week or two of when this goes live, anything goes wrong, blame it on Mercury in retrograde. There we go. Oh, that's cute. So when this dries, am I going to drop it? All this is going to be translucent, everything's showing in, everything will be translucent, so the under, come on, the background will show through. Oh. Yeah. There we go. So let this dry. I'm getting giddy now. I'm going to let this dry, and then when we come back, let it dry overnight. And I'm going to finish the edges. And I was going to use the rose gold, but I'm thinking the rose gold might be a bit weak. I think it'll be strong in contrast, but it'll be weak in the actual color. I'm going to actually look in my stash, and I'm going to find a color that's close to this transparent red iron oxide. And I'm liking the iced espresso. It's kind of dark. I like that. So I think I'm going to use this instead. So it'll be more neutral. Like, I don't want the focus of the piece to be the edges. I want the focus of the piece to be the actual composition. So we'll try that. And if it doesn't work out, it's water soluble, so you can just wipe it off and then try something else. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. So it's been about 24 hours and it's still not 100% dry. You can see right under here, it's still a little bit wet. So I'll leave it. I'm also going to mount this on a piece of backing from watercolor pad because it's bent a little bit. So it's a little bit, the paper is a little bit thin, which is fine. So what I'm going to do now is I wanted to add something with travel inspired, and I picked this up at, Lens Mill. And it's from Fiskars. It's still travel stamps. And although I'm not a big stamping expert, I did want to put something in there. I would prefer something Canadian, but nothing there. And I thought with this here, because it's more industrial, I was thinking, let's go with something with an airplane. But the airplane is flying the wrong way, so we can't do the airplane. Oh, let's just do this. Little embellishment here. I'm going to back up and put that on a block. Put that on the block. And use stays on. That's pretty. I'll put another one here. Half on, half off. Like that. Just adds a little something. And put that back. And this one here. You don't have to do this. I just thought it'd be kind of cute just to kind of break things up a little bit. It's nice having white space. It's nice having white space in your pieces, but sometimes it just looks like you forgot to put something there. But that's it, it's just something. I mean, you can even doodle with something, make a little doodle mark. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. So that's it, all finished. So I'm just gonna, yeah, so I'm just gonna mount this on something more sturdy and let it dry for at least a day. And once this becomes translucent, then it will be ready to go. So let me know what you think. Comment below for what you thought of it. And I would like to know the question for the giveaway, because up here in Canada you can't just give away for giving away. You have to make people do something for it. So I figured I'd just ask you a question. Well, I don't know what to ask you. Have you ever used stuff that's have you ever bought industrial materials before to use into your artwork? And when I mean industrial materials, I don't really mean stuff from the hardware store, but I mean went out intentionally to an art store or bought online gears and cogs and stuff like that to put into your artwork. And if you have, what I'd love to know is what your favorite piece is, and ideally where you bought it, because like I like to learn from you guys, because up here in Canada I don't have access to a lot of this stuff, and more, you know, I've made some online purchases that have not worked out. So I'd love to hear from you guys, you know, so what gears and cogs you've bought online, and if there's, you know, a specific place you bought them. So if you let me know that in the comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on anything. And since I've closed down my Facebook group, I would like to invite you to join the private community I set up, advertising free and drama free. So the link is below as well, and you can check that out. Alrighty, so I'm going to clean up. I've got 5 more projects that I've got lined up already, all inspired within, you know, 5 minutes of this. So until I see you in those pieces, stay inspired.